Representative Kucinich was against the war from the beginning and warned from the beginning of its potential effects, and has led the argument about the war since. We first learned about Representative Kucinich when, at the young age of 31, he was elected mayor of Cleveland. Where he led the fight to try to sustain public energy and affordable energy in that city. He now serves as a representative from Cleveland, where in the Congress he is chairman of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, the largest congressional caucus in the Congress and on the Democratic side. And there he's been an ardent advocate of national health care, of defending Social Security, of increasing unemployment benefits, and of making electricity sensibly provided and affordable. And in this campaign, he became really a stalwart voice for progressives throughout the country. Representative Dennis Kucinich.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob Rosag. Thank the Campaign for America's Future and The Nation magazine. Katrina, Ben Gould, thank you for your integrity and the never-ending commitment of the nation to progressive principles. Thank you so much. To Senator Hart, Ambassador Wilson, and all the distinguished panelists, to my co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, Barbara Lee, who is second to no one in the Congress when it comes to courage and standing up and speaking out. The buttons in our district say me and Barbara Lee. and to all of you in this audience, distinguished citizens, activists all, before I begin, I'd like to make two introductions. I was very fortunate in this campaign to have the support of so many people in the entertainment community, people such as Willie Nelson and Sean Penn, and today two people are completing the campaign trail with me here. Tim Reynolds may be here, I'm not sure, but I know that Jamie Cromwell and Mimi Kennedy are here, and I want to thank them for their commitment to Jamie Cromwell, thank you. The question that I always like to ask when I'm going on a trip, before I go on a trip, is this trip necessary? Is this trip necessary? We as not only American citizens, but as citizens of the world, Robin Hood, we must ever be mindful of the requirement of questioning the rationale for all the policies of our government, but particularly when it comes to international relations where we have very little opportunity for oversight once policy is initiated. There is a type of thinking which it is our responsibility to be able to address. And that type of thinking is a compartmentalized thinking of us versus them. It is perhaps part and parcel of thinking which was reflected in the splitting of the atom itself, that would be speaking a split consciousness. When you begin to see the world in terms of us versus them, you can quickly follow yourself along a path towards conflict. You can embrace the thinking that says that war is inevitable. Once you believe that war is inevitable, war becomes of itself a self-fulfilling prophecy. It should not be a surprise to anyone. We're living in a time where people are making public policy decisions and preparing for the future on the basis of their thinking about war. Now, it is one thing to be prepared for the possibility that your nation might be attacked. It is altogether another thing to prepare to attack another nation on the claim that they may be thinking of attacking you. This war against Iraq was not inevitable except for the worldview and the commitment that certain members of the administration made to attack Iraq. We all know the volumes that have been written. This war was preconceived, waiting for an opportunity, used 9/11 as an excuse to prosecute. And then, from that, built a whole architecture of fear and military spending to try to lock it far into the future to continue to insulate this argument of the inevitability of war. What we really are presented with here, not only at this forum, but in governments, be they headed by Democrats or Republicans, is a choice between the kind of world that we want to live in and the consequences of a worldview which separates us from the rest of the world. Doctrines of unilateralism and preemption inevitably are self-defeating, because what they do, they arise from a belief that we have no connection to anyone else, that we are not interdependent. That same kind of belief which leads to war for oil is the same kind of belief which leads to empire, and it leads to disaster for the country that's initiating it. President Clinton in his speech pointed out that strength and wisdom are not mutually exclusive. No one challenges the strength of the United States. The question is, what is our wisdom? And the question is, are we wise enough to recognize that with the world as closely connected as it is, with a world which is connected in a way that other generations could not have dreamed of, by communication, transportation, by the internet, we really have the ability, more than ever, to pursue what Franklin Roosevelt thought about, the science of human relations. A couple hundred years ago, Daniel Webster stood at the dedication of the Bunker Hill Memorial, and he talked about developing the arts of peace. Why is it that we feel we have so much capacity to develop the arts of war? Well, we can get into the technical specifications of war. Circular error, throwaway, things like that. And yet, why do we lack such a capacity to pursue the arts of peace? I contend that it is only fear that stops us from realizing our potential to create a new world, a world where war is not inevitable,